With the year winding down, it's time for my top 5 lists. In today's list, we're going to look at my top 5 games that I think deserve another look in 2019. So again, let's start this list off with qualifying what I mean by deserve another look. I think this is a game that deserves a little bit more attention. They may have gotten lost in the shuffle in 2018, and they've got great things to offer, but I think that because 2018 was such a huge, busy year, and I'll talk about that a bit in my recap of the year of like how 2018 went and sort of what I saw in the miniature wargaming industry. I think there was tons of great products that came out, and because they didn't have a huge extended release, they just got lost in the constant inundating waves of stuff coming out and slamming against the industry. And so this is my top 5 list of things that I think we deserve another look, because I think that they were really great games that may have just gotten lost in the noise and the static of all of the crazy stuff that happened in 2018. So kicking us off in the number 5 spot, we have Rumble Slam. This is a great, fantastic fantasy wrestling game that's just been plugging away from TT Combat with a few releases over the course of the year, but I think really got lost in all of the sort of sports arena, car game, and sort of other like bite-sized miniature war games that came out in 2018. It's a ton of fun, has really great rules for multiplayer games where you can have King of the Ring matches up to 4 players, and it's just perfect for like a kitchen table style fun night. If you paint a roster like wrestlers, you can do drafts, bring them in, and do like an evening of gaming, and it doesn't break the bank either because the models themselves super affordably priced and a huge selection of your favorite like wrestlers dubbed over as fantasy tropes and stuff too. So highly recommend Rumble Slam. If you haven't given it a look, take a second look. It's one of those games that I think could become a staple for like the after club gaming or even just like the pub night gaming that tends to happen right now, and I think it deserves more attention. In the number 4 spot, we have Eden, the post-apocalypse miniature game from Happy Games Factory. Now, this is a wonderful, again, bite-sized skirmish apocalypse game out of France, and I think that, again, it's one of those games that hasn't gotten enough love over the course of the year. Even though they've had steady releases, lots of cool little things coming out, and all kinds of wonderful sort of like expansions as well with Burnout and stuff happening. You've heard me talk a little bit about that before. So yeah, check them out. The rules are all free for download, and you can see all the cards and stuff for free as well. It's on the website. If you're looking for a great model line for your post-apocalyptic stuff too, there's just tons of great sculpts in there, and they've got some really fun new releases plugging away and coming out over the course of 2018, and more coming out in 2019 as well. In the number 3 spot, we've got Draculas America. This was one of my most anticipated releases for 2017, and I feel like over the course of 2018, despite having a bunch of books come out, as well as a few new cool models from North Star, it just kind of got lost in the discussion with all the other great games coming out from Osprey. Osprey's got a really busy release schedule. There's been tons of cool indie things coming out, but nothing's really hit that cowboy sort of like mystic, cool turn of the century itch like Draculas America had. It's a game I wish I'd been playing more over the course of the year, but again, it just kind of got lost in the shuffle of tons of great games coming out. So I'm going to make a point of doing the Cthulhu expansion and the Cthulhu missions over the course of 2019, and I hope you guys give the game another look too, because it's got a wonderful core rulebook, great rules for using basically any models you want that are turn of the century, sort of like, you know, pre 20th century, you know, cowboys, and, you know, like you got Confederates and zombies and all kinds of cool stuff that you can build and paint. So give it another look. It's one of those games that I think if you like that time period and you like sort of like the horror tropes and genres and stuff too, it's well worth a look. In the number 2 spot, we've got The Drowned Earth. This is a super fast-paced skirmish game based around sort of like a parkour, running, jumping through a devastated drowned world with like collapsed skyscrapers. Think like The Last of Us, but where the water table's risen like 40 feet so that everything's basically half underwater. It's got an absolutely fantastic model line of everything from mutant monsters and animals through to like sort of brave post-apocalyptic humans that you can build and paint. And I think it's just one of those games that, again, because there were so many games that came out this year, just got lost in the shuffle. Really elegant game system, quite unique, fast to play, and again, lots of cool and fun modeling options. So if you're into post-apocalyptia, once again, give this game a look because the model line is fantastic. The game rules are simple but super fun and deep, and it's well worth a second glance if you're looking for a new kitchen table game for 2019. And in the number 1 spot, we've got Adeptus Titanicus, a game that I think just got drowned in the release schedule of all the other cool things coming out from Games Workshop. Now, this game had everything going for it. Giant robots, really cool core mechanics, a well laid out rulebook with tons of cool missions, both narrative, open, and match play missions, and just beautiful, gorgeous model kits in a brand new scale, but that stood on their own as just being fun to build, fun to model, and fun to play games with. Now, this was a game I think got lost primarily because of Games Workshop's commitment to releasing something new every week, and the release for it was kind of chopped up right from the initial launch until now. But as of today, you can basically play with everything that's in the core rulebook and a new unit as well, which is the Cerastus Knights. So with all of their model kits available, with new arm options and stuff coming, so you can actually do the Christmas morning stuff of mixing and matching and having fun building your Titans, which I think was maybe the core ingredient missing from Titanicus on launch, which was the designing your own Titan and personalizing your own robot, which was a big, huge thing in the original box set that was missing from the first box with the Warlord Titan. I think the game's in a great spot and deserves a second look. So it's a game I'm hoping to play like way more of in 2019. It's one of my favorite original Workshop games, and I think this edition is fantastic. It's also relatively, with the new box sets and stuff, relatively reasonably priced. You can buy an Axiom Maniple now for $200, which is a full playable army, and then just buying the rulebooks for the $50 that it cost, I guess, for the box set for that stuff. That's a really, $250 is a pretty reasonable entry level for a big giant stompy robot game and for just a starter set in general. So I think the game's in a much more stable place than it was at launch, and just had a really weird sort of like tumultuous ride to getting to market. So hope you give it another look, and I really hope that if there's one thing I wish for Christmas, it would be for a regular Adeptus Titanicus opponent. So I'm hoping I get to play it more in 2019 as well. We'll see you for my final list tomorrow. Till then, I'm Ash, happy programming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.